Hello everyone, and welcome to my B&B Fan Club channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Hope's heart flutters beneath the delicate lace of her wedding gown. The sun had begun to dip toward the horizon, casting golden light through the chapel's stained glass windows. Rows of friends and family sat in silent anticipation as she stood there, radiant in white and holding a bouquet of white roses. Liam's expression was a mix of joy and awe. This was the moment they had been waiting for. The romantic climax of a long struggle, a promise fulfilled. For a moment, everything seemed perfect. It felt destined. Then something changed. The rustle of footsteps in the back pew drew our attention. A tall, dark-haired man entered, his suit well-tailored but his demeanor slightly off. He paused in the aisle, taking in the scene with calm intensity, as if the wedding were a challenge rather than a celebration. A soft murmur echoed through the guests, and some shifted uncomfortably, sensing the intrusion. Hope's smile faltered for a split second. Liam's brow wrinkled. The officiant cleared his throat and prepared to begin the ceremony, but the stranger's presence cast a shadow across the room. As the ceremony began, the man's gaze moved from Hope to Liam, and then to their guests. It was unsettling. Not hostile, just unsettling. And when the vows reached a tender crescendo, he rose from his seat and moved forward. Liam caught sight of him just as he entered the aisle. "Do you know that man?" Liam whispered to Hope, his voice low and strained. Hope shakes her head. Her stomach fluttered. Not from nerves from the wedding, but from this unexpected threat. The stranger cleared his throat aloud. The ceremony came to a halt for a beat as all eyes turned. The officiant paused and the guests leaned forwards. The man began speaking. "Hope Logan. Liam Spencer," he said calmly but firm. "I believe you recognize me." Hope swallowed. Why was she so nervous? She tried to recall where she'd seen him, but nothing came to mind. Liam glared at him. "Who are you?" Liam demanded. The stranger smiled faintly. "You might not remember me yet, but I recall this day." He looked at Hope. "I remember you promised something long ago." Hope's cheeks flushed. The silence in the room became heavier. Several guests exchanged uneasy glances. Brooke, Ridge, Steffi. Everyone sensed an ominous edge creeping into what should have been a happy occasion. Liam took a step toward the stranger. "It is a private ceremony. You have no business." "I disagree," the man replied. "You have business with me." His gaze fixed on Liam's. "And with her." Hope took a deep breath, her fingers tightening around the bouquet. Liam put a protective hand on her back. The officiant cleared his throat again. "Maybe we should step aside," he said quietly, his calm demeanor slipping. But before the group could proceed, the man raised his hand, gesturing to stop them. "I'm not here to ruin your day," he explained. "Well, perhaps I am. But I need to show you something. A truth that you have buried. A promise you broke." Hope's heart pounded. Liam's jaw was set. The guests sat motionless. It was no longer a wedding but a reckoning. The man opened a small tablet, similar to a digital photo frame, and held it up for Hope and Liam to see. It contains images of the two of them from years ago. Hope and Liam at a younger age, laughing, embracing, dreaming. Then a second set of images. Hope alone, distressed and crying. Then we see Liam with someone else. Finally, in one of the shots, the man himself is seen standing off in the distance, watching. Hope gave a gasp. "How did you get these?" She whispered. "What do you want?" "I want you to know you can't escape your past," the stranger said. "Especially when you built your future on a lie." Liam's voice was harsh. "Enough. Show yourself. Identify yourself or leave." The man's lips curved. "If I told you now, the impact would be reduced. I'm here so you'll remember. You promised me, Hope, to be honest. And Liam, you promised to protect her. Instead, you both hid something. And now I'm here to make sure the truth comes out." Some guests murmured. Brooke's hand moved to her chest. Ridge frowned. Steffi's eyes narrowed. Even the officiant looked away briefly, attempting to regain control of the ceremony. Hope stepped forward. "What are you talking about? What promise? What truth?" "You'll know soon," he said. "I'm already present in your life. And today of all days, I decided to remind you that you cannot silence everything. At that point, a phone rang. The stranger made a subtle nod. A video projected onto a hidden screen near the front showed Hope entering a car with someone late at night. He appeared to have orchestrated it. Gasps filled the room. Liam's face turned pale. Hope's cheeks flushed. The officiant looked defeated and motioned for the wedding to be paused. I'm sorry to everyone, he said. We'll meet again in. He trailed off. Liam turned to face Hope. What is this? He demanded. Who is he? And what is the video? Hope could hardly speak. I don't understand, she said, her voice trembling. The stranger closed the tablet. You will understand, he said. And when you do, your life will never be the same. With that, he stepped back. The guests rose in confusion. Liam grabbed Hope's hand and led her to the back door. The man followed, remaining a step behind and silent. Outside the chapel, the sun had fully set. The guests poured out, whispering. Cameras flashed as the chaos unfolded. Brooke ran up to Hope. Are you okay, darling? She asked, her voice low and concerned. Hope nodded faintly. Liam embraced her and shielded her from the crowd. The stranger stood on the chapel steps, a dark silhouette against the evening sky. You can't hide, he exclaimed. Not anymore. He walked away and vanished into the crowd. That night, the reception hall, which was usually alive with music and laughter, felt cold and empty. The decorative lights twinkled but did not warm the space. Guests sat at tables but kept a wary eye on the newlyweds, unsure what to say or how to act. The music was soft but nothing felt right. Hope and Liam sat together but were distant. Their hands only occasionally touched. Their smiles were strained. Liam kept looking at his phone, as if waiting for the stranger to text. Hope looked around the room, scanning the faces, expecting to see him again. The shadow of his words and images hung over every corner. Finally, Liam rose. I need to breathe, he said quietly to Hope. I'll be outside for a moment. Hope nodded. Outside, the cool evening air felt more real. Liam leaned against the wall and closed his eyes. What was that? He muttered. Who was the man? Hope joined him. I do not know. But I feel like I betrayed something or someone. Liam nodded. I can't put my finger on it. Let's deal with it later. Right now, I want this night to be ours. Hope looked at him, tears in her eyes. Yes. I want that too. They kissed gently in the moonlight. And for a brief moment they felt the old hope, the promise of love and a shared future. But the sense of unease persisted. Days passed and life attempted to resume. The honeymoon was postponed. Family visits were cancelled. The stranger's intrusion echoed through every conversation. Did you notice how he walked in? How did he speak? What did that video convey? People whispered behind their hands. Hope and Liam were bombarded with questions from acquaintances and the press. The wedding planning studio contacted them regarding cancellation fees. The wedding planner expressed condolences. Their digital photos reflected guests' shocked expressions. Hope withdrew. She stopped designing in her studio. Liam avoided his job. Their friends urged them to speak. Brooke sat with Hope one evening. You can talk to me, Brooke said. I have known you since you were a little girl. Tell me what is going on. Hope wrung her hands. It was as if someone opened a file from my past in front of everyone. And I can't remember what was in that file. I'm not sure what promise I broke. Brooke's eyes were gentle. Darling, sometimes the past whispers. Sometimes shouts. And sometimes we have to listen even when we're happy. You don't have to carry this on your own. Hope exhaled. I am afraid Liam will lose trust in me after this. I'm afraid I've already lost him. Brooke reached out. You two have gone through so much. Your foundation is built upon trust. Let him in. Share it. He's more than just your husband. He's your partner. Hope nodded. Later, Hope invited Liam to talk on the veranda at night. The city lights of Los Angeles glowed in the distance. She held his hand. I never wanted to hide anything from you, she told me. My actions and promises were not intended to harm our relationship. Liam's expression softened as he admitted uncertainty. We will find it. Together. He paused. Whoever that man is, he may believe he has leverage. But he does not have us. Not unless we let him in. Hope gave a faint smile. Promise. Promise. The night enveloped them, and for a moment peace settled in. But then the stranger returned. It was during the debut of Hope's new fashion line. The runway lights glowed. Models strutted. Cameras flashed. Liam sat in the front row proud. Hope watched from behind the scenes, illuminated by excitement. Her new beginnings designs represented her and Liam's future together. Suddenly the lights flickered and dimmed. The music is cut. A hush fell over the audience. The stranger appeared at the runway entrance, silent and commanding attention. The models froze in mid-step. The guests let out a gasp. Hope's heart sank. He moved slowly to the front row where Liam sat. Sitting uninvited beside him, he tipped his head. Congratulations, he added softly. For a promising line. For the wedding. For love. But every line casts a shadow. Liam's expression darkened. You again. What do you want? He spat. The stranger looked at Hope. I've come to remind you of a choice. Promise. A pact. Something you created under different skies. Hope felt cold. Her voice quavered. No, not that. What you designated as love, the man said. You banked on Hope. But you owe something to Hope Logan. And Liam Spencer. When you promised to stand by her, you had no idea you were agreeing to a debt. Liam rose. What debt? The stranger slid a folded document across the table. Liam opened it. Hope's name was displayed at the top. It was a date from years ago, before he and Hope got engaged or even started dating seriously. The document appeared legal. Liam's eyes widened. Hope gave a gasp. What is this? Liam asked. Read it, the stranger instructed. And then decide who you marry today. With trembling hands, Hope took the document, which read, Promise of confidential advisory and payment, Logan Enterprises, her family business. The wording indicated that Hope promised to handle something, someone's future, in exchange for a silence clause. However, the field for the second party's name was blank, and the signature line contained a cryptic initial. Hope's world spun. She looked up at the stranger. I don't remember signing this, he said, nodding slowly. Because you didn't. Someone has signed it on your behalf. Or you were forced to give your name. And the price must now be paid. Liam wrapped a protective arm around her. We are not going to be blackmailed, he yelled. The stranger shrugged. Blackmail is the least of my motivations. I seek justice. And I want you two to understand that some things do not go away just by walking down the aisle. Hope's voice cracked. Why me? Why now? What did I do? The stranger leaned forwards. You made a promise you couldn't fulfill. And someone who believed in and trusted you was hurt. That individual waited years for a repayment. And today they're here. His words landed like stones. The space felt fragmented. Cameras flashed in the distance. The fashion show staff rushed inside. The stranger stood and walked away. Models resumed. The music began with a faltering beat. The unveiling continued, but the energy was permanently altered. That night, Hope and Liam sat silently in their hotel suite. Flowers wilted all around them, and the champagne had warmed. Neither spoke for a long time. Finally, Hope broke. I want to know everything, she explained. I want to know the truth. Liam reached for her. And you will. But maybe we should get some help. Perhaps we should find someone, a lawyer or a private investigator, who can trace this document and determine its origin. Hope nodded. Yes. She looked at him. But I am scared. Not just of the document but of its meaning. That I let somebody down. That I did not fight when I should have. You are not alone, Liam said softly. We will face this. Together. Hope rested her head on his shoulder. Thank you. At that point the intimacy returned, but it was tempered by the realization that their foundation was now complicated by history. What followed was a series of revelations. The document's blank second-party name was linked to an intermediary shell company. The signature line was written in the same handwriting as Hope's longtime friend and assistant. The reimbursement clause mentioned a payment for emotional and professional support from that assistant. The assistant, nervous and defensive, invoked the confidentiality agreement and refused to speak until she was subpoenaed. Meanwhile, the stranger appeared at various milestones, including Logan Enterprises' anniversary party, Hope's public charity gala, and Liam's business reception. Every time he arrived, something went wrong. The lights flickered, the speech was paused, and the guests whispered. He never made big demands. He never shouted. However, the significance of his presence was chilling. He reminded them that the past isn't gone. Hope's creativity slowed. Her design confidence had once been high, but now every sketch bore a fissure. Liam, protective, attempted to shield her from media speculation and boardroom gossip. However, the Logan Enterprises board started whispering. Despite its age, the document was reputable. What if it resulted in liability for the company? What if someone sues? Hope's mother and father intervened. One evening they sat with Hope and Liam in the family dining room. "This is serious," her father explained. "We cannot ignore it." Her mother added, "You are promising your lives to each other. Don't let this shadow define you." Liam spoke up. "We will fight this. But first we need to figure out what happened." Hope expressed gratitude to him. In the midst of this, the stranger's true identity became clear. He turned out to be the son of a designer who previously worked for Logan Enterprises. Years before, the designer had poured his heart and soul into a line that Hope's company purchased, but the promised royalties were delayed. The designer died before the situation was resolved, and his son believed the world had forgotten. The document Hope had unknowingly been linked to was the final attempt to formalize the debt, signed under duress by Hope's assistant to keep the situation quiet. Now the son appeared to reclaim acknowledgement. Hope sat in her studio reading the statements. She looked at the timeline. The designer's death, the shell company, the years of silence, and her own rise in the industry. She felt guilt wash over her. She had been young, trusting, and carrying on her mother's legacy, but she had been complicit through ignorance. She turned to face Liam. Liam nodded. "I want to fix this." "Then we do. Transparently. We start by meeting him face to face." The son agreed to the meeting. Calm, composed, and quietly determined. He said his piece after years of waiting, watching Hope rise, and Logan Enterprises profit from the work his father had put his heart into. He didn't want vengeance. He desired recognition. He wanted the truth to be acknowledged and payment made. Or at the very least, a meaningful gesture that said, "We remember." Hope you listened. Her eyes filled. "I'm sorry," she replied. "This is for your father. For you. I never intended this." The son nodded. "Then show me. Show me you mean it. And show me that your husband really means it." Liam took a step forward. "We will do what is right. Not out of guilt but out of honor. Because I married a woman with character." The son looked at Hope and Liam. "Then act like it." So they did. The next public appearance of Hope's fashion line included a tribute to the late designer, and a portion of the proceeds donated to his legacy. The board approved an amendment to the royalty contract. The son spoke at the unveiling and was formally introduced. For a while, the specter of the mysterious man vanished. Instead of causing destruction, the wedding day disruption served as a catalyst for change. Hope and Liam formed a stronger bond as their circumstances forced them to. They had confronted the unexpected intruder together. Their trust had been tested, and when the truth was revealed, they grew stronger. Nonetheless, the experience left its mark. Hope awoke occasionally during the night, haunted by the stranger's gaze. Liam became more vigilant, more protective, not only of Hope but of their entire life. The wedding photos changed color to reflect not only joy, but also the memory of that pivotal moment. Guests at social gatherings occasionally whispered, "Do you remember the interloper?" But Hope and Liam moved on. Hope returned to her work, her creativity rekindled, but tempered by empathy and the realization that ambition must always be balanced with gratitude. Liam collaborated with her not only as her husband, but also as her all-around partner. On the anniversary of their wedding, they returned to the chapel where the ceremony had been interrupted. This time there were no strangers in the aisle. This time they stood together, friends and family surrounding them, their voices upbeat. But Hope pressed a small bouquet into the hands of the designer's son, whispering "thank you," and "I am sorry" at the same time, before she and Liam exchanged new vows that were less formal and more heartfelt. The stranger observed from a distance, his silhouette blending into the crowd. He nodded once and slipped out quietly. He had finished his work. And Hope and Liam, forever changed, walked into their future. Not as naive dreamers, but as two people who had discovered each other, supported each other, and faced a ghost from the past together, and emerged unscathed.